I'm Laure Underhill. I'm a tax partner at the law firm Clifford, and I advise on fund formation and anything adjacent to funds. So I do a lot of carry and co-invest structuring, investment structuring, GPM&A, fund financing across a variety of different asset classes. Laure, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Laure Valance. I'm Global Head of Tax at Ardian. Ardian is a private investment house managing close to 170 billion of AUM. Ardian operates globally, is headquartered in France, and we also invest in across the wide range of opportunities. So it could be private equity, direct and secondaries, um, private credits, and also real assets, among them infrastructure. I'm heading the tax team, so with 8 persons located in Paris, London, and New York. I'm myself based in Paris. And the main mission of the tax team is would be to focus on fund and investment structuring, carry schemes, and also the group tax matters. So quite a broad range of activities and very transversal, so very, insightful for us.
Yeah, and very international if you have teams across
Yes,
the different jurisdictions as well.
exactly. And not, even, the person based in New York, they will get to need to understand Pillar 2 or ATA 2. Of course, we had to identify experts within the team, that would deep dive into, certain rules.
Topics. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in the US for transfers of, of LP partnership of interest in partnerships, just to make sure, the withholding tax requirements from a US tax standpoint. Well, on some of the reform, we in the UK, we're monitoring the changes. So, of course, it would be the person located in the UK. But that's true that we need to have the A people quite knowledgeable on any topic with some dedicated experts to some topics.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense because although I'm a UK tax lawyer, that's my focus. Actually, working in the fund space, a huge amount of what I do is sort of international tax. And again, it's really interesting to see the way that different jurisdictions approach, the same issue in slightly different ways, and keeping track of those projects as they develop across the globe is an important part of what we do.
Exactly, and that have been quite a challenge that we had to face recently. Is that the most recent changes in tax laws were actually global, almost global. It all started, I believe, with maybe ATAD 1, tax 6. We had ATAD 2 after, now Pillar 2, and Pillar 2 is even outside the EU. It concerns the UK, some Asian countries, Australia. Not the US, definitely not the US,
definitely not the US
but it shows how much we need to be able to oversee multiple jurisdictions at the very same time, and also be knowledgeable and being agile enough to actually understand what are the specificities, the local specificities, because those are global legislation, but every country would transpose those rules differently.
So your assumptions don't always travel well. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting. And it was interesting, actually. So we've just come off the panel talking about how to navigate tax considerations. And although we spoke a little bit about UK tax in terms of carry, actually, the majority of what we were talking about, I think, essentially comes down to global tax developments. And also the sort of global nature of the funds world, and how when you have investors in different jurisdictions and investments in different jurisdictions, how you piece all that jigsaw together. But I mean, I don't know, what did you think of the panel? I thought it was great to have everyone's different perspectives come together.
I thought it was really great. And what strikes me is kind of the I would not say a conflict, but there is something that's, we were dealing with volume, data collection, investor base, and, how to process that. So it's clearly, the volume of operations. Why one of the questions also that we address is bespoke solutions. So how can you deal with the volume while maintaining or, even increasing bespoke solutions.
Yes.
And that's, I think, the challenges that, is ahead of us. And as Ed Emmond from Collar said, it's really how do you do bespoke, but scalable bespoke solutions. Yeah, because the volume will remain.
Yes, and no doubt the bespoke
Yeah,
nature will stay.
exactly.
It won't go back in the box
No.
now. So, yeah, I think that's a really fascinating topic of how you essentially how can you put processes in place and safeguards around the tax in particular, I guess, in that world where you have so many things coming across your desk and everything is new, or lots of it is new. You're not looking at the same repeat issues again and again.
No, exactly. And uncertain.
Yes.
Because we can't say that the recent changes in law, they have been fully clarified by tax authorities. And I'm not even sure that tax authorities actually know how to apply them in real world.
Yes.
And so we're facing the lack of guidance. I believe in some important countries. So that's also one of the challenges that we're facing.
I liked what Arji from Harborvest, her comment around kind of needing to always have your ears open. Of there's an inherent difficulty in trying to predict what future tax rules might look like, because frankly it's difficult enough to keep hold of what they look like right now.
Absolutely.
But just having being her role and your role being one of kind of just keeping your ear to the ground and looking at tax authority trends and developments.
Yes, absolutely. Talk to, I think we need to have a stable, steady, trustworthy network, advisors, but other peers from other firms, attending conferences, sharing insights. There's everyone, and we felt that. We've all experiencing the exact same things, the same new business opportunities, as at the same time, the same challenges. So I believe that, there is no need for secrecy. We actually need to share experience, and this is where actually we will grow. We will not, favor one. It will just make ourselves grow more and more if we share experience.
Yeah, definitely. And I think so one of the things we talked a lot about was the collection of investor tax information, and we talked a bit about the friction that can put on the subscription process, because if you speak to the IR team, they would like a very short form, standardized subscription document that could just be submitted. But on the side of that, we have to balance the need, the legal requirement to collect tax information, but also having a robust position where you don't legally have to collect it, a robust position to justify positions you're taking in your holding structures or portfolio companies and so on. And so how you balance those two things, it is quite difficult. And I think that's something where actually the more sort of discussant and sharing of approach in the market that can be had, the better, because that's how we move, if not to standardization, just to an acceptance as to, okay, well, this is what is required, and let's make it as easy as possible for people to provide it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Before we actually reach out to investors, or we're willing to raise new questions to our investors before we onboard them, we will always, take the moment to know what the market is doing. Is it only accepted if the big players do it? Otherwise, it will felt as unnecessary and just burdening our investors. So yes, that's true that there clearly are market trends, and we need to follow them.
Yes. Yeah.
And maybe to conclude, there was an interesting piece at the panel, is to have had an insurance broker, because we can really feel, and I wouldn't have said that a couple of years ago, that now tax insurance is actually a business solution that can permit and able to find the right balance between, facing tax risk. I don't think that there is a world with no tax risk, where there is. And while insurance, having insurance coverage enables us to move forward, live with the risk, but be protected against the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just that certainty, you know, where you need to liquidate fund structures and have everyone sort of move on from it. What Dean at BMS Group was commenting on was just that it provides that level of finality or certainty, I guess, to allow people to move forward.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's good to have at least one solution from a tax standpoint.
Exactly. And so I guess in terms of where we're leaving things, I suppose we're accepting that we're in a world of complexity on the tax side. That's not going away. And so I guess what's our takeaway message? That we need to sort of embrace it and work together as best we can as an industry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And there are still ways to find solutions.
Indeed.
Super. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.